Hello and welcome to the Overtime Podcast. This is episode 10. I am your host, Tony Sixwing here with Sixwing Productions with my co-host, Laura Quinting.
Hi!
And I think today we're going to have a little talk about the holidays. I say bah
Yes.
humbug. I think Laura says happy holidays.
I technically say Merry Christmas, but that's because I was growing up in a very Catholic.
I wasn't sure
Um,
which one you'd be saying.
yeah, well, and what's interesting is at my work, even though we're not technically affiliated with any particular religion, we align ourselves client-wise with a lot of highly Catholic and Christian churches and schools and shit because obviously they need money since they're not getting government assistance or anything. But it's funny because we always have to say God bless or whatever the fuck after we make our message and stuff. And I think it's funny because I think happy holidays is better just because there's so many different religious holidays going on, and obviously Christmas isn't the only thing that's celebrated. You have Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all that other stuff.
I'd say it'd just be easier because of the season of so many damn holidays. It's hard to keep straight which one is on what day.
Right, and I don't we had brought this up before about the retail worker confessions thing, but I did want to bring this up for the podcast about how people were arguing that page has become such a shit show, but I want to bring this up anyways about how
Oh,
they're saying, do you guys tell your kids that Santa's not real, or that Saint Nicholas is real and he really did those things, but he's not actually going down your chimney and shit. You know what I mean? Because I was raised in a Catholic household. So I was raised to believe, yes, Saint Nicholas was in fact a person, and yes, he did the things he did. He gave toys to very poor people, but I had to unfortunately find out while my parents were up wrapping Christmas presents and shit about the whole thing. And I was really young when it happened, but I think my views on what telling your kids whether or not he's real is I don't know. I'm for it but against it at the same time, weirdly enough.
to each their own, but I don't really like the idea of Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy because here's the thing. Parents are trying to be nice to their kids, and I understand the whole aspect of we don't always have money, so use Santa. But here's the thing. How do poor kids believe in Santa? They don't get a whole lot, but it was from Santa. Doesn't make much sense. But also, you're trying to do all this stuff for your kids. Wouldn't you want your kids to have the appreciation to you, not some fictitious figure? When I was a kid, we didn't really do Tooth Fairy. They pulled my tooth and gave me some money for going through letting my mom pull the tooth out.
I think I had the tooth fairy on smaller occasions, and I was told about the Easter bunny and all that.
I don't think
But
anyone really believes in the Easter Bunny.
I
Other than
mean,
very
no,
little kids.
I don't think now, no.
I don't think anybody really, really believes in the Easter Bunny. Santa Claus, yes, kids believe in him, but I don't think even kids really believe in the Easter Bunny. They know mom and dad were putting out the eggs.
And
It sounds
I
stupid.
think what's another holiday too? I think when I was young, my teacher tried to say that leprechauns visited our classroom or some bullshit, and I'm
Oh,
like,
St. Patrick's Day, oh, that's...
yeah, yeah. And looking back, one of the things that I think is kind of nice when you're young about the whole believing in these fictitious characters is there was I kind of remember fondly having this weird idea of that magic of believing in something. But at the same time, I look at how I kind of want my kids to look at it, and personally, I don't agree with I'll tell them that they're not real and that I buy them shit and stuff like that, but I will tell them not to ruin it for other kids. Because I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want to, affect other people's.
Oh yeah,
childhood.
but here's one thing with me. Now, as many of you guys may or may not know, it's really not many people's business, but my parents are no longer together. I live with my dad, and my mom's around, and my dad's girlfriend and stuff. So this Christmas, I had to go to my mom's house, do Christmas here, do Christmas lunch at my dad's girlfriend's mom's house, and then have dinner at my dad's parents' house. When it comes to the holidays, understand the stress of people who have live in the same town as family, or have split families, or put together families, because it is a tiring rush to get every. I mean, it's fun to see everybody, but you gotta go here, 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 and here. Kind of gets a
Yeah,
little
it's pretty
tiring
stressful.
and stressful. Not really bad stress, but it puts you a little on edge. It's not a
Yeah.
bad stress. It's just stress because you got to go
I
here, 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 and here.
I think what's a good point that someone commented on the post was like when you have kids, especially if like you happen to have like a decent amount of money, but you know that like your friend's kids like doesn't. I feel like moving forward when it comes to the whole Santa thing, if you know that you're buying them a large gift, like I would personally say that it'd be better if you admitted it to it because you don't want kids like saying that like, oh, Santa got me this, or well, why didn't Santa get me like, this expensive thing? Like, why does he like me less? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I never got the whole Santa thing. Now, maybe people can do stuff. I mean, they have like gift that one where you gift small gifts for poor kids.
Toys for Tots?
Toys
Are
for
you talking about
Tots.
that?
Yeah, Toys
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Tots. Something like that where and you actually can do this thing at the post office where you can get a letter from one of these kids that's to Santa, and you can send them a gift.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen people do Toys for Tots, and it was pretty.
I
I think
mean,
it's pretty successful for
if
the
we
most
want to
part.
use Santa, I think we should use Santa as the because really Saint Nick gave toys to poor kids. So really Santa should be, hey, we all go every year and donate like gifts and whatnot to the poor, and we give them to these kids, and these kids get to hear that they're from Santa, so they got something special too. Anonymously given under the name of Santa. Everyone's Santa. I think that'd be
Right.
kind of cool. But good luck getting anything like that to actually happen.
I think the whole like idea of Santa and like giving to people is all well and good. I just think that it gets over commercialized and like the stress of like giving your kids like enough or like have or them having the expectation that their friends got a shit ton, so then you have to buy them a shit ton and then you feel bad if you're not able to. I think that's where it gets like not
Oh,
very like
since I'm so much
fun.
older than my little sister, I've seen my parents and whatnot stress over being able to get them all the stuff they want to make sure they get them enough, and it really shouldn't be like that. But we talk about it being the time of love and giving and whatnot, and then you go to the shopping center or the mall, and everyone's trampling over each other and about to run each other over in the damn parking lot. Thanks for the giving and
Right.
the love, people. It's all about giving and love, as long as you can buy that gift you wanted to give somebody.
Right. That's why, like, on Black Friday, especially like the big places that do like the cheap TVs and shit, like, I do not go there on Black Friday or like Thanksgiving because I know that I'm barely gonna have any room to like walk
Oh
and it's
yeah.
just not that fun to me.
Oh yeah, and people, here's a hint. Most of that shit goes on sale later in the year again when they need to still get rid of it. Wait a little while. Or order it on Amazon.
Right. And like honestly, I ended up so my friend got a TV for like I think it was 44 inches, maybe less. And she got it for I want to say like $120, which that's a good deal. But the thing is, you can get like a regular TV around that size. Yeah, it's going to cost you a little bit more, but it's not like double or quadruple the price if you buy it normal time. Like the TV that I got was a 44 inch, and it was like $210 or something like that. Like that stuff that you want on Black Friday normally does not cost like a shit ton to begin with. You know what I mean?
Oh no, the discounts on Black Friday aren't even that big because
Right.
they're still making money. They just make it look like you're saving money, and you typically aren't saving that much at all. It's
And
just to
also,
get
like,
them all in the store.
I used to work at a Target, actually. This was a couple of years ago, and they, like, purposely only have a small amount of, like, the actual decently discounted items. Like, for the TVs that we're selling for 120, we probably had less than 100 TVs to actually sell,
Yeah,
which
but
is
they were
why
there
people are,
for.
like, lined up and shit.
And then when they get in there, they were buying a TV anyway, so they turn around and buy a more expensive one. Black Friday is a day to get all those butts in that store one day a year to make sure the company's in the black for the year. That's why it's called Black Friday, because that's where they stop being in debt for the year, when they actually
Right.
make money by doing that shit. And really, I mean, I went on a Black Friday to build my new computer, which I've been doing these last couple of podcasts on, and I had to go out 2 or 3 times to get everything for it, and it was insane.
You went to Best Buy, right?
Yeah.
I can imagine it being pretty busy.
Oh yeah. Just a second. Oh, I thought I heard something.
Oh, okay. So, anyways, guys, yeah, Black Friday slash like um lining up on Thanksgiving, which by the way, I think the whole like people starting Black Friday on like early Thanksgiving. I had to work at Target at like 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving. It's not very enjoyable, especially when Thanksgiving is like one of the only days that like most people get off. So please
Oh yeah.
don't start your fucking Black Friday that fucking early.
No shit.
Like, you don't have to open your doors at 5 o'clock and make it so that people have to have their Thanksgiving, like, during fucking lunch and breakfast. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No, I've never agreed with that thing. But you want to know my thing about? Here's one thing. I'm going to say a very controversial idea. I think everyone should work on New Year's Day. It's just when the calendar resets, it's not that big of a deal.
New Year's Day, I don't think is that big of a deal. I believe that a lot of people want the day before off so that they can, like, get drunk and shit
Or they want the
and
day after
whatever.
off so they can sleep off the hangover.
Well,
But
yeah, they want both days off.
But I never ever understood people getting so drunk they have a hangover, because when you get that drunk, you typically don't remember whatever you did.
I don't really understand like celebrating the new year to the point where you're drunk. Like, I feel like holidays are really just an excuse for people to get drunk, like whatever it is. Like 4th of July, like we're celebrating that we
Inde-
have independence, but yet you got drunk on the beach. Like, you know what I mean?
oh yeah, it's like, okay, I understand Thanksgiving. Okay, I understand Christmas. Give us off. Let's spend time with our families.
Yeah.
Shit. I understand Labor Day. It's supposed to be an extra day off for all the workers. Thank you for your labor. I understand Independence Day because, independence of our nation. A lot of countries that used to be colonies have a day like that.
Yeah.
Shit. I understand Memorial Day, having that day off, go memorialize the soldiers who have fallen for our country. And I can kind of understand Veterans Day, though you don't typically actually get that off from work. But
Veterans Day, no, not really.
Well, it depends on where you work. If you work in factories like I do, you get Memorial Day off. But here's the thing.
I just remember getting Labor Day off, which is a first for one of the places I've worked at because I wasn't used to getting it off.
Yeah, welcome to not being in the service industry anymore. So you kind of technically still are. But here's the thing. This country has way too many damn holidays.
We have holidays for like literally everything. Like Who actually gives a shit about like Arbor Day? Like really?
Eh, We have multiple holidays every month.
Or there's a holiday that like celebrates when this like animal like comes up out of the hole, whatever the fuck it's called.
There is an actual official talk like a pirate day.
There's just donut day. There's literally holidays for everything. But the
On
point
March
is,
14th is National Pie Day.
the holidays that are like considered semi-important to people, like, are really just like a commercialized gimmick so that the stores can come out with their items and sell it and whatever.
Oh, you mean like Valentine's Day because we got to take our love for people and condense it down to one day a year?
Yeah. Well, Easter too. That's a big commercialized holiday.
Yeah, Easter's not as commercialized as the rest of them.
Easter, I feel like when you go into stores, as much as it's like less celebrated than Christmas when it comes to Christian holidays, I still feel like stores still make it a large deal.
Oh, they do for candy and Halloween's. You know, interesting thing since talking about holidays. Did you know Halloween is a Christian holiday?
Yes.
They call it demonic, but it's actually All Hallows Eve, and the day after Halloween, November 1st, is All Saints Day.
There's like this one, I thought it was like a Mexican holiday or something, but like they have Day of the Dead or whatever with the sugar skulls. I know that's a holiday.
That's Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, that's what it's called, yeah. People celebrate that too.
Well, it's not really celebrating, it's more like celebrating the life and the legacy of those who have gone before.
Well, yeah, but people eat tacos and get drunk, so I consider people celebrating that as well.
Yeah, I have come to this one conclusion. Here in America, and probably other countries too, everyone will find any excuse to make a holiday to go eat a bunch of food and get drunk.
Yes, that you could say that for basically any holiday. I mean, you look at Labor Day, 4th of July,
People don't really get drunk on Christmas or Thanksgiving.
maybe spiked eggnog.
Like eggnog, maybe some peppermint schnapps in the hot chocolate. But technically, they don't get drunk on.
Well, Thanksgiving and like Christmas now they
Yes.
have like pub crawls specifically for that. So I don't think that that's completely invalidating.
We just gotta remember, Valentine's Day, the drink of choice must be tequila.
Why tequila?
Because the song "Tequila Makes Her Clothes Fall Off."
Oh, I thought you were gonna say people like get drunk so that they don't have to wallow in the fact that they're single.
Oh no, they get drunk so they get drunk and screw a lot.
Yeah.
Typically consensually. Typically, two consenting adults decide to get drunk together and then get laid.
Oh, I have a super funny story about me and my co-host Six Wing Productions that happened on Valentine's Day, actually. So when I was first dating my current boyfriend, this was like some years ago. Our first Valentine's Day, he was making me food and shit, and I didn't think much of it because this was like my first like boyfriend that wasn't a piece of shit, and I dated for more than
3 days
a
of a
couple
screw.
weeks. I didn't screw, okay? Shut up. Point is, I invited said friends, Six Wing Productions, and I guess my boyfriend got really pissed off at that, but he didn't like want to say anything to his face. And I just like reminisce on how funny that was because like he was making a special like Valentine's dinner and shit like that, and I didn't really think much of it. And then he came over and we hung out, and then I was like, oh shit, it was Valentine's Day, maybe I shouldn't have done that, type of thing.
Yeah, I would have said that would have been a bad idea.
But at the same time, I feel like Valentine's Day is so like we put too much emphasis on it.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Like to
yeah.
me, most holidays, like even Christmas this year, I don't know if I'm just being like a Grinch, but Christmas, I didn't do anything. Like, I was by myself. My parents had visited the day before. Like, holidays, I feel like when you get older, unless you have kids or something, they kind of lose most meaning to you. Like,
Yeah,
they're like just a day. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh, but since we're talking about boyfriends and girlfriends on Valentine's Day, one quick thing. Our other occasional third host, whose name I will not use because they are not on the podcast today, guess what she told me? So we were talking. I said how I'm an asshole, and I said how you and the rest of my friends call me a lovable asshole.
Yes.
And she goes that you're hitting on me. I'm like, no, that's not what Laura meant at all. It's a joke in the friends group. What the
Wait, that
hell?
I was hitting on you?
Yeah, for calling me a lovable asshole. It's a joke in the friends group. I tried to explain this to her, and she's so
Was she like actually being serious about that?
yeah. And I tried to explain it away, and she could not understand what I was trying to say. Because
See,
apparently, my lack of interest in a relationship, there's something wrong with me with that.
I think what people and to whoever's watching, which is there anyone watching?
There's a one concurrent viewer, probably just the preview. If you're watching
Okay.
in the future,
Okay, so when we mean lovable asshole, we mean that, well, at least how I look at it is when you think of an asshole, that you don't want to hang out with someone who's an asshole. But a lovable asshole is someone who, yes, they're like blunt and they're probably an asshole to you sometimes, but you tolerate them because on the off chance that they're not being an asshole, they're actually kind of cool and nice to you. And that's what a lovable asshole is.
wait, I'm being cool and nice from time to time. Excuse me, I need to make a note to fix that.
But yeah, I don't know where she thinks that actually.
She just
Especially
got
when I've mentioned multiple times about my person.
your boyfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that greatly confuses me, but okay.
Crystal's one. Sorry, I didn't mean to use his name, but she's one of those people who thinks everyone's always hitting on everybody, and you got to be in a damn relationship. Cannot enjoy being single. I do enjoy being single, which most people find very weird.
I was single for actually a large portion of my early time. I believe I didn't have my first boyfriend until I was like either 18 or 19, and I was fine with it, to be honest. Like, I look back at all the people who like I've met over the years who I liked and who I thought were cool and shit like that. And I'm so glad that I like never actually tried to go for them because like, and I know whoever's watching, whoever is like a young person and like says that they have like crushes on people and shit like that, like when you're in high school or when you're even younger than that, you're not really truly like in love with someone or like able to even comprehend the idea of dating that person if like I think what a lot of people in high school consider a crush, like you think they're
It's
cute, blah blah blah, but like you barely know them,
no,
so of
it's what
course
it
they're not
is.
gonna like you.
And seriously, when I was starting to hit puberty in sixth
My
grade,
headphone popped out. 1 second. Well, that was just my experience in high school. Maybe
yeah.
I'm wrong, but
Well, when I was in
whatever.
sixth grade, and mind you guys, I was behind in school because of a bunch of crap that went on. I had a crush on this one gal, and because I'm also autistic, I started writing her name on my notebooks and all that other shit, and kind of expressing it on her heart.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
god.
embarrassing. And the entire
Uh,
class, which was already bullying me for other shit, decided to use that to start bullying me and all that shit. And tell you what, when you're the weird kid and you don't know you're autistic and you do weird shit because you do not know the social dynamic and you've been pulled in and out of school so much, it makes life a little difficult. And then when I got into high school, when I was in ninth grade, a bunch of girls started hitting on me, but I blew them off. And one gal, I said I wanted to I don't know if her being the fact that she was one of the African American students, if that explains why she called me this. I don't know, but I told her I wanted to focus on my studies and not have a girlfriend, and then she decided to call me Cheerio the rest of the school year.
Hmm.
I don't get it. And then I spent math class in the middle of the school whore and her boyfriend.
See, I look back at high school, and I'm not going to say it was traumatizing because I know that people have it much, much worse than I did in high school. But it was to the point where, like, what you were saying, I wasn't really aware of this social dynamic. Personally, I wasn't even, like, that liked. I'm sure people tolerated me and talked to me when they had to. But I think I was always the butt of the jokes, or, oh, she
Oh no.
likes you, like, oh, I can't believe she likes you. Like, I was probably, well, it doesn't help, folks, that I went to a very, very Republican Catholic school. I am prefacing that now. But that point being said, um, said school not very favorable towards Asians. So I was very insecure about
Well,
being
yeah.
considered ugly.
In ninth grade, with I actually was trying to get somewhere with that gal that I told you about. I sat in between her and her boyfriend in math class because everyone thought there was that. That was kind of an embarrassing segment. Your ninth grade, hormones are going everywhere, and the only thing you're thinking about one thing most of the time. But
This is
anyways,
true. Yes.
and that's true for both men and women. It's not just the dudes who only think about one thing. Also,
Well, I wasn't thinking about that,
well,
but go on.
you're you. Anyways, but my first day of ninth grade, gal walks up to me, not bad looking gal. He gets a hold of my phone number later and leaves a message about wish I was 16 so we could go out. And my dad checks my phone and is like, who is this calling you? How'd they get your number? Because, I'm like 14 and,
Oh my god.
but the first day of school, she comes up to me and lets me know that she's not wearing any panties. And I'm like, how the hell do I respond to that?
Okay, I don't know because honestly, like I said, we had two very, very different high schools.
No, no, but seriously, as a dude, I still don't understand. I mean, what words would you use? Okay, does that mean let's go around the corner? Does that mean you want to screw me? So we'll go around the corner and take care of it? I don't understand what a gal means when she comes up to you in school, in high school, or at any time, unless you know that she's not wearing anything. I mean, if she's your girlfriend or your wife, or fiance or whatever, I get it. She says, "Hey, later on, let's do something." Because you're together, obviously, and she's doing it to flirt with you a little bit.
Yeah.
But to just
As like
some cute
someone
guy
you
in high
don't.
school who you don't know,
Right.
it's like. But later on, I found out she was sleeping with everyone she could and was just a necrophiliac. Or not necrophiliac, sorry, nymphomaniac. So I did not mean to say she was screwing dead people. I meant she liked to screw.
Yeah, don't get those two words mixed up.
Very
So
different
I
meanings.
so I think you dodged a bullet there, but at the same time, I think that what people around you were saying is completely different to what I was growing up with.
Well, we did in ninth grade. I did hear some kids talking about whether or not you should shave down there for whatever reason, and putting fingers up your ass. Of course, I also knew that all the kids were sleeping with were screwing in the bathrooms. Once when I was out of art class, I was using the restroom and I was in the stall, and I heard people going, "Oh f, oh f, oh f, oh f, oh f, oh at me, oh at me," and he's like, "Wow, someone was doing something in there while I was taking a shit outside." And then I also saw a gal who's finishing pulling down her shirt, and someone had put. You remember what the pen tattoo was when people would write with pen on their skin?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, she had one. I saw her finishing putting down her shirt, and it was a picture of a dick, and she was coming out of the woman's bathroom.
Guys, when I have kids, I'm not sending them to public school.
Yeah, and make sure they know exactly what is. make sure they have a box of condoms and know how to use them and to use them, because we all know they're going to be stupid teenagers.
Yeah. See, I like am kind of glad that I lived in a bubble for a decent amount of time because that kept my innocence for considerably compared to other people this
What is
day and
this
age a
innocence you
very long
talk
time.
about? What is this innocence you're talking about?
They say on average most people lose whatever innocence they had, virginity I'm saying, at the ages of 15 and 16. That just fucking blows my mind at this point.
Oh, if you're talking about that kind of innocence, I still got my innocence.
Right. But
But that's by choice.
well, you don't exactly have like 300 women hitting you up either. So,
Well, the thing is, I also don't try and don't put myself out there.
but
Like
personally, like when it comes to the school system, I was always like pretty thankful that like I didn't have to hear said things at school. It was mostly just academic for the most part.
Yeah, when you hear two people screwing outside the stall in the art section's bathroom, and by the way, that bathroom had one stall and had a lock on the door. That's why kids went in there, because that was that that one spot in the school where there's that one little tiny ass bathroom with a lock on the door. Like every school has it in the small ass section of the school. That was the
I
one I had
guess
to
so.
use. You ever go to East?
No.
Well, this was at East Junior High before it was middle school.
I believe me and the audience would not know what you're talking about, but okay.
You should know what East Junior High was.
But us as co-hosts, obviously, we have had very different high school memories.
Oh yeah, very different, very different.
Semi-similar in some aspects, though.
Well, you see, I did end high school in a high school where everyone either had an IEP and some mental issues or had a juvenile record. So, it's one of those sorts of situations. That's what I graduated from. When you have a classmate named Avalon who is obsessed with dolphins raping people, you understand you're going to a weird school.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird school. But I guess we might want to try to get a little back on topic here.
Oh, well, to get back on topic there, I am incredibly glad that I'm not in my hometown right now, or else I would probably 99% chance I would have to see said school people again, because me and Six Wing happen to come from a very, very small town where you see everyone and their mother shopping at the grocery store.
Yeah, pretty much. What? There was Meijer and Walmart and the Spartan stores, and that's about it.
So I, myself, am really glad that I haven't had to see any past high school people.
But a lot of them actually moved away with the rising cost of living there and the lack of high-paying jobs.
Well, they have. I'm more so saying, like, during the holidays, they came back to see family and whatnot. Which is why I'm glad I'm not there.
Yeah, for those of you who don't understand this, which actually I guess we go into another thing that's completely off topic. The augment of the minimum wage, some people are now trying to say, oh, now we need 33 an hour.
33? I'm pretty sure some software engineers don't make 33 an hour.
Software engineers make less than I do. For about a decade. So do help desk guys who have 4 years of an IT degree and 5 years of experience. Mind you, I make $15.29 an hour or 28 an hour, and that's still not really all that much.
I think there's still software engineers that make it big.
Yes, but most of them, you have to understand, Laura, when it comes to software engineering, you are hired per project, and after the project's done, a lot of software engineers lose their jobs. So you get it, it's over the course of like hourly, but you essentially get paid per diem. So you get paid to program a program or to work on patches for that program, and then when you're done, the job's done, you go home. Most programming now is freelance. And the only hourly stuff is the big game developers, and then they lay everyone off as soon as the game's done. So, seriously, the tech world is completely screwed up. But here's the thing. I can get the 15 an hour, Laura. Because I think no matter what job you have, I'm not saying you should be able to have a lavish lifestyle, but you should be able to afford a small one-bedroom apartment, a vehicle to get to and from work, groceries, and maybe some internet.
And benefits, health insurance and whatnot would be nice.
Would be nice, but you don't have to have them at a starter low-end job. But 33
well,
an hour?
I mean, like, having money if you wanted/needed health care is something.
Yeah, that's one thing. We actually need to make it to where we need to start figuring out how to make it to where
healthcare is affordable.
No, I was trying to say just a second.
Healthcare is very not affordable, even for young people who probably aren't going to suffer from anything too serious.
Oh yeah, but Medicaid should cover up to the point that you can cover your own insurance. Now, it cuts you off in many states before you can even afford to pay rent. You can't afford to pay rent, but you don't get Medicaid because you make too much money.
Right.
That's bullshit. But they're trying to make the minimum wage $68,000 a year. Some people. The 33 an hour people.
Oh, right.
I'm sorry, you don't need a minimum of $68,000 a year. Now, would I be behind making that a minimum wage for anyone who has a job that requires a degree? Yes. Because I think I've said it before on this podcast. I'm for three separate minimum wages. One for kids, one for adults when the job does not require a degree, another one that's minimum starting pay if you have to have a degree for that particular position. Just because, I think 15 should be the minimum as soon as you're 18, and then if you have a degree and the degree is required, you should be making like $30 an hour, should be double that.
See, if minimum wage went up to $33 an hour, then everything would just spike up ridiculously high. You'd have loaves of bread that would be $10 to $15.
Yeah, look, guys, $15 an hour will not spike and hurt the economy that much, especially since these kids that you say are supposed to be the ones having these low-paying jobs. By the way, the town we come from, those low-paying jobs are the only ones available, and the skilled trade jobs are paying about the same amount. So don't tell people just go into a trade. It's not that easy if you actually look into it.
Right, and most of the people that did make it in our hometown are doctors, nurses, stuff
entrepreneurs.
Like that. Right.
In our hometown, you started your own business or you didn't make it. But here's the thing. 15 an hour would not break the bank for most companies, nor would it raise the cost that much. I mean, they're using an excuse. They'll raise it more than they need to because, here's an excuse to make more profit. Cover the cost plus say we need to charge a little bit more because, they have the excuse. It's business. You don't expect anything else. But to tell us that, you don't need 15 an hour if you're working at McDonald's because only college kids and kids from high school should be there. Okay, well, I hope you don't want breakfast or hot food or anything like that. And if everyone has a exam on the same day happens to for college, I hope you understand that McDonald's now has to close and you can't go there for your convenient lunch because everyone's in school. Or overnights, the guy ain't going to be from college.
And also, with that kind of job, if you're only hiring college students and or high school students, the college students aren't going to want to work full time. I know that there might be a couple, but you're going to be getting 20 to 25 hours out of most people, which isn't enough to run a place.
Oh no, and you remember when we were in college, I was essentially working full time most of the time. I was so burnt out, it wasn't even funny.
Because you were doing school full time too, right?
Yeah, I was in school full time, plus I was pulling damn near 40 hours wherever I worked. And remember, old boss Kim, she'd have me come in on damn near every one of my days off, and I'd end up working overtime when it wasn't technically available. I got overtime when most managers weren't getting overtime. I at least got 2 to 5 hours of overtime every week.
I had no idea how you were doing school full time and work full time.
Piss poorly.
Like, no, I mean, like timing wise, how when were your classes in the morning?
Oh, I took the days that I had class off.
And you didn't have class like did you just double up on classes and make sure they were all on 1 or 2 days?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
Or my
okay.
classes were right next to each other in the same building. But also, like a lot of the other people in the computer program, remember Moodle and all those tests are so screwy that everyone goes online, finds the answers beforehand, but you can't really cheat on the lab. So we still learned, but everyone damn near cheated on every single damn test and the homework. There were
Yeah.
very few exceptions. Yes, kids, in college, you do a lot of underhanded things to get the work done because they expect you to do like 80 hours of week worth of work on top of having to deal with the rest of your life.
Mhm.
So it's like college is like having 2 full-time jobs on top of what you have to do in real life. So you do every underhanded thing you can to try and make it a little easier on yourself. And I had other shit going on in my life too, so I kind of shut down, got addicted to video games, and kind of just let my grades slip, and I had to drop out of college.
I was actually very surprised of the people who I did know. Maybe it was just because of the degree they were in. My one friend, he's a software engineer now, supposedly makes a decent wage. I visited his condo, so it seems like he does. Well, anyways, he was the guy that I knew who he was very studious. He was in like an honors program or whatever, but he had no job. And like maybe in the summer he had a job at once, but his only thing was college. And I was like, wow, like I wonder if there is like such a thing as a break for him or like what he does like in his free time. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he probably didn't have any free time. Also, a lot of those people, they are in debt up to their eyeballs in student loans. Because what they'll do is they'll go get the subsidized loans from the government through FAFSA, and
Yeah.
then they'll go to the bank and get more loans that their parents co-sign with their house as collateral. And that kind of screws everybody. Remember, kids, I do not believe in student loan forgiveness. If you're dumb enough to take out these loans for these useless degrees, you should be allowed to go bankrupt. You should have done the homework.
Yeah.
Granted, you
I
won't.
don't know how he didn't get bored at certain points though.
I don't know. I kind of checked out after about the second year of college.
Did I meet you in the first year you were there?
We met at McDonald's, and then we met again at college through Cody.
Right. Our redneck friend, as preface for people.
Yes, our redneck Jehovah's Witness friend.
Yes, which is a very interesting way to title it.
Yes, yes. But no, college was an interesting thing. And you guys want to know something else about the holidays? Due to the holidays and the shutdown of one of our biggest clients at work, I do not have to go back to work till Thursday.
Thursday?
Yep.
Isn't that a bad thing?
And I get paid for Wednesday, but not Monday and Tuesday. And I'm supposed to be going on a forklift, but that still ain't happened.
Supposedly, I don't have to go to work New Year's and New Year's Day due to the holidays as well, because not only does the church close, but also when it comes to a call center, we try to respect people's holiday time and not call people when they're A, recovering from a hangover, or B, in the middle of getting drunk for said hangover.
Yeah, people don't like getting called on the holidays. The robocalls are
We
bad enough.
we actually called people the day after Christmas, and people were very, very irritable.
Oh yeah, they just got done with Christmas and having to deal with family. And they probably had to go back to work that day too. But
And most people are gonna be broke in like a week, so there you go.
oh yeah. Yeah, my work's actually changing. I'm now going to get paid on Thursdays instead of Fridays, which is interesting.
So you said you get paid for the days that you're off?
Oh, I just get paid for Wednesday. I don't have any vacation time left till February when it
What
resets and I get two
happened?
weeks.
Oh, it gets reset in February. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
it's called. We had a bunch of work reductions in the spring, and it burned through all my vacation time.
Okay, I gotcha.
So yeah, that
2 weeks isn't that much.
huh? Two
Two
weeks
weeks
after
isn't that much.
2 weeks after 2 years. That's normal.
Well, no, I mean like it's not that hard to burn it through. Is what I'm saying.
Oh no, I burned through only 1 week. I only had 1 week to burn through,
Oh, okay.
and it also burned through my floating holidays. My work stuff kind of got all screwy with them changing because what they did. Okay, I'm not going to say where I work, and I'm never going to say where I work. We'll talk like I believe Laura's got the same idea. We'll talk about work in the where we
In the
used to
past
work in the
tense.
past tense or very ambiguously, because everyone has a job. I don't even put where I work on my Facebook. Okay, if you and this retail workers confession group that's kind of toxic now, I have no sympathy for the people who put that terrible shit on there and get fired.
I don't either. You brought that upon yourself.
Yes, you
There
did.
was a weird thread that I was actually reading about how like people are saying, I used to work at blah 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 or I work at blah blah blah, ask me your questions. And I was actually answering some of the McDonald's questions out of sheer habit.
We worked at McDonald's way too damn long.
Yeah, someone like asked, okay, what are like the secret menu items besides the McGangbang? And yes, guys, the McGangbang is actually something that someone ordered from me like while I was at McDonald's. I think they ordered like a decent amount, not just one.
I don't even
And
remember
I
what that is.
commented
What is
saying that
that?
the grilled
McChicken
cheese was
inside of
one.
a. Is that like a McChicken inside of a freaking.
I believe it's a
No.
McDouble and a McChicken together or something like that.
Yeah.
But
But, or the Mini Mac is also a thing. It's a McDouble made like a Big Mac. It's got the same stuff as a Big Mac, but it doesn't have the middle bun.
yeah, so I commented saying that the grilled cheese was something that I had to make before.
Well, yeah, you toast the buns and then you put the buns upside down instead of the regular way. You flip them over so that they can taste the grilled bread, and you wrap it, and it makes it
Yeah,
look all square. It's essentially that you get to ring it up as a cheeseburger, no meat. But
right.
you know what's funny, Laura? I have a McDonald's right next to my work. It's the only good McDonald's in my area, and it's real convenient if I forget to buy my lunch. And before I've gone in there, and I've had to tell the new person when I'm ordering, just hit. I've ended up telling them hit there, 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 and there. And they're like, huh? I worked at a
Isn't the
McDonald's for
screen
3 years.
different?
Huh?
Isn't
Screens
the
are the
screen
same at
different?
every McDonald's, and I don't even have to see the screen. I can just tell them it's up somewhere in there.
Well, right, but they add like new keys and shit.
Yeah, they had like new keys, but knowing where they put the no sauce button is not going to change.
Oh, right.
So,
I actually asked the retail worker confessions group if the donut sticks were actually good or not.
oh yeah. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, my work. So, where I work, my company is owned by a equity firm. They buy up companies, make them profitable, and then resell them. Or keep them, or whatever they decide to do with them. Well, the equity firm decided to simplify it, and yeah, it will be simplified after it's done. But when you go to simplify something, the process is more complex than what it'll be once it's done. Transferring systems and all that. It's a pain in the ass no matter how you do it. Some people's clocking cards aren't working now. Some people can't get in the door. Some of our accounts are locked out online to get into work accounts. It's a pain in the butt. But they decided to converge everyone's benefits.
What does that mean?
essentially, instead of every company they owned having the benefits from when they bought the company, they tried to take the most even-handed without taking away anything from anybody that they could. So some people got a little taken away, like my work. We got a bunch of stuff taken away, but it wasn't that important. Granted, people who work there for years had their shit, so they were having hissy fits beyond what they need. Because, people are people. And other people gained stuff, and we got better health insurance because they took the benefits and just made them the same over every company the parent company owns now has the same benefits. So changing systems like that, a lot of stuff is screwed up right now, and we're supposed to let them know if we find something so they can fix it because, changing a system. There's always growing pains with that.
It sounds rough.
Well, yeah, they're changing the day we get paid. They're changing what payroll company they use. Stuff like that. Because for those you don't know, a lot of places use ADP or Workday to allow you to get your stuff. Heard of that. Well, we're going from ADP to Workday. And a lot of our benefits weren't showing up in Workday. Now they are. Or we went from ADP to Kronos for clocking in.
I've used Kronos before.
So, Kronos, you're supposed to be able to log in on your phone to check your schedule and everything. Yeah. Well, my account, not the plant manager, but the production manager's account, a lot of other ones, are locked out. So yeah, changing systems, it's a pain in the butt. But anyways, yeah. But back on that confessions group, do you notice how many people were whining about the holidays?
About, like, not getting it off?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I didn't get holidays off till I went to start working in factories.
I still don't really get holidays off. I mean, I get, like, the important ones off, I guess, but... Yeah. I mean, some people get, like, fucking 2 to 3 weeks off paid, and I'm like, shit, where do you work at?
Really, really good jobs that require a whole hell of a lot of experience, connections, and degrees.
Yeah.
But...
Because I had to be at work, like, the day after Christmas, so...
But have you noticed... Oh, what do you think of that tobacco? You have to be 21 now to buy it.
I'm happy with it.
You don't think it's bullshit and we need to now make it to where you're not legally you're an adult till 21? Say that you can't sign up for the military or anything till you're 21 because this is bullshit and an attack on liberty?
I mean, I never was a fan of it, like, when it came to smoking, so I'm fine with them raising the age.
You shouldn't be. And here's why. Because what we're essentially doing is telling people that at 18 we're going to treat you legally as an adult if you commit a crime and we need to draft, or if the draft gets turned back on or whatever. But you have to wait another 4 years. No, not 4 years. 3 years. Another 3 years before you can smoke and drink. Because your brain isn't developed enough. Oh, but it's developed enough to vote, have to pay taxes, go to college, and go to war. Sure.
Well, I don't know if making the drinking age less than what it is right now is the answer, though.
No, what I'm saying, though, is if you're going to keep making everything not till you're 21, it's time to just say that you're not an adult till you're 21.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because we live in a country that's supposed to have free and liberty and whatnot. Then you shouldn't be restricted from doing things because you're not old enough once you're an adult. It's the principle of the thing. Mind you, people, I don't smoke, and I encourage everyone that smokes to quit smoking.
Yes.
And help us legalize weed, and then we can all light up with that.
I guess.
It's a joke. I'm joking. But yeah, well, it looks like we've pretty much run out of time for this evening.
Did we actually have a viewer or no?
I don't know. It started with 3 viewers right before we started, then it went to 0. As soon as we started the podcast, then it went to 1, then 0, then back to 1. So I don't know.
That's odd.
Yeah. Freaking YouTube. If I ever get some money, I'm going to have to do some advertising for this thing if we ever want it to grow. And maybe actually put it on an actual podcast thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure people are turning on seeing us talking with one image and no video and turning it right off.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to
Wait,
figure out something
so
better.
is Crystal like still wearing women's clothes or no?
Not really. But we'll
Wait,
talk about that
so
off the air.
oh, you're still on there?
Yeah. So anyways, we'll see you guys later and have a good one.
Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Bye.
Bye.